Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void or prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Today's podcast only. If you're listening to this program live, you are doing it on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. You can download it on any of the major platforms, but that's the only way. The Big 920 is carrying Badgers basketball today. It's a one-off kind of a deal. We don't have to worry about it weekly, just this week as we get ready to race at Martinsville. Todd Bailing in Phoenix, Arizona, joined by my three co-hosts, beginning with Ed Kaluka of West Bend, Wisconsin. Morning, Eddie.
Good morning, Todd. I guess we've got different rules if your last name is Gibbs.
Oh, don't get me. Yeah, go ahead and get me started. Dan Margetta of, let's see, you work in South Milwaukee, but you live in St. Francis.
That's right. And, yeah, we're at Martinsville where it's supposed to be rough and tumble, but you're supposed to clean a leader out in the last lap.
And Brian Schmidt, who works in Sheboygan but lives in beautiful downtown Oostburg, Wisconsin. Hey, man.
Morning. Yep, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. One race to go, and then we'll be with you next week in Phoenix.
You know, I forgot. We all forgot until last week's absolute ass-kicking by Kyle Larson at Homestead that that there's a different foursome that are headed for the Car Owners Championship by the win by Kyle Larson last week at Homestead. That put Larson into the final four for car owners. And, Ed, apparently there's a lot more money involved with the car owners than for the champion alone, the driver.
Right. The car owner's check is the one big check that comes from the share of the television money. The driver's paycheck comes out of what comes from the purse from the track.
Well, I think it's pretty good that we forgot about it, and all of a sudden Kyle Larson reminded us that he's still in it to go back-to-back in the 5-car.
And if you're confused as to how that happened, if you remember way back when the playoffs started, the 45 car was in with a win, but because Kurt Busch didn't continue on because of his injury, that car advanced. Ryan Blaney's car was only running for the driver's title, just Ryan Blaney, not Team Penske. So that offset the grid, so to speak. You had 16 here, 15 of them, and 15 of them were the same, but there was that one different one. As we went through the series of advancements here, the 45 car got bumped out, I think between the round of 12 to 8, he got bumped out. So that made that open for the 5 car. The 5 car got bumped out drivers-wise at the Roval. However, he was the 5th one in line because Ryan Blaney advanced to the 8, but he did not have car owner points awarded to that. So the next one in line would be Larson. So Larson advanced to the round of 8. This is confusing as all hell. I believe it. But Larson's in there, right? So now you had the penalty for the 20.
Todd.
Yeah, you had the penalty for the 24 car. That looked like Larson was going to be in. They reinstated his points. That knocked Larson out. But because the 5 car is in the round of 8 and the 12 car is not, Larson now winning last week puts him into the final 4, car owner-wise. So if the 12 car advances, wherever the 12 car goes, Penske will not get owner's championship money for that. So as long as the 12 car is there, somebody else is always going to be, the next guy in line is going to be around. So
and it's
mud,
theoretically there's going to be 2 front tables at the banquet, correct?
Well, yeah, no. I mean, it depends.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because so if, just for instance, let's say Kyle Larson wins the race at Phoenix, Chase Elliott advances to the Final Four, and Chase Elliott finishes second, then it's all going to be Hendrick on there, but there'll be 2 different teams involved because you'll have Kyle Larson's team being the owner's title and then Chase Elliott winning it, but it's the same goes to Hendrick. Now, if Joey Logano finishes second at Phoenix and Kyle Larson wins the race, then it will be that'll be a really big front stage.
Big CF, as we call it, a cluster.
Yes.
And now they don't have front tables anymore for their banquets. I don't think.
Well, we're going to find out. Boy, it's not confusing enough that we have stage winners and bucket points, but now we're going to have 2 different champions at the front table. No wonder they can't find a single sponsor. There's 4 sponsors for the stupid thing. So
I mean, possibly that's only if Kyle Larson next week at Phoenix were to finish in front of the 4 behind him. If he doesn't, then it doesn't matter. Then it's just going to go to the top finisher of it. But you're basically going to have 5 teams running for a owner's title next week, 4 drivers.
And if that's not confusing enough,
yes,
we can't make up our mind what we should do on the racetrack when they take people out or when they spin people out or what they do on the track. NASCAR can't make up their mind either.
Well, the one thing we do know is that they upheld the penalty for the 41 car, whom, in their eyes, manipulated the race on the Roval. And, well, he did. But, so what? A lot of manipulation goes on. Only part of it do we see. NASCAR doesn't want to be out-manipulated by anyone else. The manipulation is fine when NASCAR does it themselves. However, yesterday, what in the hell was that all about? Ty Gibbs, we keep hearing about what a spectacular talent this kid is, but is he just plain dirty or can he not control himself? I mean, that's the real questions, right? I mean, come on.
There's a part of me that thought after Road America, when talking to him, and Dan probably agrees with this too, that we thought maybe he was turning a corner. He's becoming a decent racer and figured it out and realized he can't be like that. But, boy, he's reverted back to his old crappy self here in the last month or 2, I think.
Yeah, I made some excuses for him. And I talked to him, and he seemed okay when I talked to him. But, what happened yesterday, that was stupid. You can't just clean the guy out going in the corner. And
if you missed it, right.
Yeah, you can't let – somehow we can't – and they're probably not going to penalize him. They're not going to give him any kind of points because it was racing for the win. We don't know if it was intentional, even though it looked intentional as hell. But I think you have to – it'll be self-policed pretty good. I think that's what's going to happen around here. Right now, there's really nobody on that kid's side, I don't think, as far as that condone that move and that kind of backlash and negative press. Maybe.
Not just that, Dan, but he compared himself to Jesus Christ yesterday.
I know. I'm serious. Talking to Clearview Lane, she asked him, were you upset with all the boos? Because the whole grandstand pretty much rained down boos. There was nobody cheering for that guy. And he says, Jesus was hated at first amongst the people, so that's just part of it. I'm like, well, Jesus didn't wreck the apostles, okay?
and to do that to your own teammate, it just baffles my mind that Gibbs Motorsports doesn't want to have 2 cars racing for a championship in the Xfinity Series. Doesn't make any sense to me. And I listened to it on the radio because I was traveling yesterday, but they asked, or Kim Kuhn even asked straight out, were you aware of the scenario where you were already locked in and your teammate, if he wins the race, would have also locked himself in but only could do it by winning the race? Were you aware of that? And he goes, yeah, I was, but we can't manipulate the system and team orders aren't allowed anymore, so I had to race him hard and win the race. That's
and not only that driver's moving on to junior motorsports, and he'd be the champion of the series, but not in a Gibbs car.
Yeah, Brandon Jones was the poor kid that got taken out, and he has one more race driving for Gibbs, and it's next week at Phoenix in the championship race. I wonder if he would kiss that organization goodbye by making it real hard for that 54 to win a championship.
And his new employer is going to be Junior Motorsports. So they interviewed Josh Berry on the radio afterwards, and Josh Berry goes, "Oh, interesting that, I think we've just gained ourselves another teammate for next week. So as far as I'm concerned, we're going to have an extra junior motorsports car out on the track.
Ty Gibbs, he can't think past the end of his nose, and it just looked so bad. You got to be kidding me, man. I thought you were better than this, but I was wrong.
But NASCAR's probably loving this because it draws a ton of attention to their Xfinity series. So as far as getting publicity and, I mean, heck, otherwise we wouldn't be talking about the Xfinity series during our first block. So it did what they're hoping for, brought some attention to it.
Yeah, finally. There you go. Glad you're listening to the podcast of LTN. We'll be back right after these.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Be part of Wisconsin hoops history when AmFam Field plays host to the Brew City Battle November 11th. See the Badgers women face Kansas State, followed by the men against Stanford for the first time at the home of the Brewers. Tickets are on sale now at brewers.com/Badgers.
Welcome back to LTN, and funny, that commercial you heard about Wagner Motorsports and Casey Wagner, and I'll be darned, but our guest is the aforementioned Casey Wagner. Casey, welcome to the program.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Pretty good, Casey. I wanted to have on today to talk about your auction that's coming up on Hanson Auto Group. Looks like you're getting rid of half the shop.
Yeah, my dad collected a lot of stuff, so we got to make some space.
Yeah, talk about the auction and the type of things that are going to be available.
Oh, I mean, there's everything from new to old, classic stuff, some machinery that we've updated, some of my dad's old cars that were out back that might be good for some kind of rat rod project, or, even a couple of them are not in bad shape. So, there's we updated a lot of things, and there's just inventory in there that we're trying to keep everything more mainstream, and we need more of it in order to try to keep up with the way parts supply these days are hard to contend with. So when you can get your hands on something, you want to get a bunch of it, so we need a place to put it.
And right now, that you're going to be able to come up there and view the stuff if you want to. On what day?
Wednesday, they're having a viewing day for everybody to be able to come and take a look at things. And then I think the auction's finalized on Thursday. So
except you won't be there because you'll be someplace else.
Yeah, I'll be out at SEMA for the show. There's some big unveilings. The Ring Brothers and Roadster Shop got some stuff out there, and obviously a bunch of our other good customers got some nice cars out there and stuff that are going to be showing off. So we got to try to go out there and represent and talk to companies on all the other stuff we buy stuff from.
So I just wanted to have you on for an opportunity to talk about the auction you're going to have. It's going to be when? This Thursday?
Yeah, it finishes on. It's an online auction. It's with obviously Hanson Auction Group that finishes Thursday. I mean, there's everything from my dad's old antique, farm machinery that was here at this farm when he bought the farm to, LS heads. I think there's a whole pallet of LS3 heads that are actually off of core motors that, it's everything, like I say, from old to new, and even some other little tidbits that figure the auction would be a good place. One of my dad's chairs that he drove around in, that was the fast one that he just crashed into stuff in the shop with. We thought we'd get that one out there because a little too fast for anybody that we need it for.
Wow. Well, I just wanted to have an opportunity to have you on to talk about the auction. We sure appreciate you being with us today.
Yeah, no, Casey, you said there's a viewing on Wednesday. Is that online as well, or is that actually, do you have to go somewhere to actually view the stuff?
Everything is here at our shop. Actually, you can come right on site at the shop and check it out. I mean, for the right people, I mean, there's actually, I'm here right now actually walking around, and I just see there's 2 big full pallets of 5.3 iron blocks that would be good for somebody doing, street turbo street rod engines or whatnot that want to turn those into working pieces. And like I say, there's 409 blocks, big blocks, all that kind of stuff. But, we just desperately need the space, and with the cost of building and everything right now, we just figured we would do it this way. And instead of seeing the stuff sit around, might as well let somebody turn it into something that makes them some money.
All new stuff. It's like heaven, isn't it?
To some people, it might be. There's a bunch of Harley Davidson stuff in there too that the right Harley builder could probably, take advantage of, that we had kicking around from things in the past for exhaust pipes and bends and things like that and whatnot. So, yeah, there's a bunch of Tri-5 Chevy parts that my dad had, stored in his shed.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yep.
It's very rare to find that stuff. Well, Casey, best of luck on this. This sounds like boy, if you're reaching the right audience here, this is like stuff that you could never find, especially if it's newer stuff. My God. 5.3s are the old 327s, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, the iron block thing, doesn't lend itself necessarily for what we got going here locally, but in some series people are using them, and it makes a hell of a strong a lot of guys will take and build those things up in a pretty stout budget turbocharger engine, and those little things will take over 1,000 horse when you turbocharge them, so when built right. But so yeah, it should be good for some people. So
Casey, give your address for those people that want to put it into a Garmin and find their way to Markesan, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. So it would be N2258 Hilltop Road, and that's in Markesan, Wisconsin 53946.
All right. Best of luck to you, and hopefully we'll talk to you down the line.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good day, guys.
All right, Casey Wagner from Wagner Motorsports. My God, can you imagine being able to go buy stuff like that? Just you got to bid on it, and you got to bid against some guys that are like-minded. But what a fantastic idea! So there we go. If you're wondering, N2258 Hilltop Road, Markesan, Wisconsin. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. You see that stuff that Carl has accumulated over the years that they just don't have room for it anymore.
Imagine that. Today's race at Martinsville, Virginia, will have Kyle Larson on the pole. Suddenly, he's on fire. He absolutely dominated the race at Homestead last week, comes back to win the pole this week, 96.078 miles per hour. He went around that just a little bit over a half-mile track at Martinsville in 19.709 seconds. The green flag is at 1:08 this afternoon. It will be carried live on Channel 4 in Milwaukee or your local NBC affiliate. The weather forecast for Martinsville is 50s with 10% chance of rain. And Ed, I don't know if you knew this, but they have a new tire compound that they're going to use for the first time for this race from Goodyear. So let's hope that they picked out a good one. That's the way it works.
It drops off almost 3 seconds after a run, so it's going to be a
nice
tire changes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the way we like to see it. LTN returns. Hang in there.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
This is The Herd.
Attention listeners.
With Colin Cowherd.
Yesterday, OBJ on Twitter praising Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers talking about their relationship. Go get him. Number one, it's a position of need. You're not a Super Bowl team if Romeo Doubs is your go-to number one. Odell Beckham's a veteran receiver. Aaron didn't have to teach him how to be big in big games.
This is The Herd.
Weekday afternoons, 3 to 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. Colin Cowherd can be an ass, can't he? Oh, sorry. I don't know where that came from. A couple of returns this weekend. Thank goodness Bubba is back. He said all the right things in a little impromptu press conference yesterday. He was humble and sincere. But what I got out of that was, but I told NASCAR they better be consistent with their calls. Really? You told NASCAR that? And they have to do what you say because you're Saint Bubba. And what you say goes, right? What an ass. Come on. But I told NASCAR. Shut up.
Got a lot of butts going on, doesn't he, Dan?
Well, that's it. I mean, it's one thing to apologize, but if you had the attachment on the butt, and this, that sometimes that doesn't play off right with a lot of people. I think it's over and done with. I mean, they said they talked. Kyle said he talked to him. There's really nothing going forward there as far as any kind of ill will. I mean, I think that's over and done with that way.
He called Larson too.
Right, that's what I mean. They said Larson said, they did talk, and it was over and done. I think most people are ready to put that in the past and see what goes on from here. The new deal is on the Xfinity side now, I guess.
Yeah, move our attention in a hurry. Speaking of returns, this is the last week that Noah Gragson is going to drive the 48 car. Alex Bowman returns for the final race of the year next week. Part of it is because he's from Tucson, and he wanted to make it back in time for Phoenix so that he could kind of his home track kind of thing. Thank goodness the kid's back. I really hated seeing his head injury and the fact that Kurt Busch's career appears to be over with because of his head injury, and they're all caused by the new car. By the way, NASCAR, Ed, is they're coming out with their new rear end on the car, and they're trying to tell everybody how it's going to be so much better, I guess.
Did you see some of the footage? There was some footage out there on Twitter that showed some of the crash test footage. They looked like they removed some bars in the back. And that did,
right. There was these big aluminum bars that pretty huge design and pretty good aluminum in V shape for the rear bumper. In other words, like 2 points out in the bumper, 1 point on the clip. Well, now it's just 1 point on the clip, so it should collapse much easier. But then they move forward in the car and remove some of the parts that I don't think are going to be to advantage, except that you now all have to buy a new clip once you're back in the fence rather than just a rear bumper.
NASCAR said something they were going to pay for it themselves or help pay for it. I can't remember. Dan, do you remember what did they say something about that, or is that
they were going to not make the teams pay for the mandatory changes. They were going to at least pick up the cost on it.
Yeah. So, and could be a significant amount of money.
Hell yeah!
When the season started, we were short on cars. I wonder how many cars are out there right now, because they're supposedly so versatile that you can use these same cars over any kind of a racetrack, a road course, or a short track, or a big track. They're supposedly all the same, but we don't really know how many cars are out there, do we, Ed?
Right now, I think it's like almost up to 4 cars per number that are now in the guys' shops.
Wow. Well, they caught up in a hurry, didn't they? Well, maybe not a hurry, but they had to. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. All right. Well, there's going to be a short track race coming up in South Carolina. It's called the Florence 400. It's late model stocks, I think, Dan, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's the series and one of the tracks that Dale Earnhardt Jr. raced on as he was learning how to race, as he was coming up. And Ed, I guess live on his show, he made up his mind he's going to race at Florence, huh?
Right. He was talking to the owner of Charlotte Motor Speedway. What's his name, Dan?
Marcus Smith?
Yeah. Marcus Smith. And Marcus is the promoter of that race. And they were talking about it, and Dale was making a note, and he says, well, I'm going. And Marcus says, you just made that decision now? Yes, I'm going. So
he did say something about the purse getting doubled for the race because he's going. I don't know where the money is coming from necessarily, but what I found interesting is that Dale Jr. stipulated that the doubling of the purse is going for the back half of the field, just to make sure it's not front loaded. That's a pretty classy move, don't you think?
And you know how that purse got doubled. You ever have an event where Dale Jr. is going to come to? You want to see door to come to it?
Yeah. Well, the price of the ticket went up, and they're probably going to bring in some portable grandstands to make sure they can hold everybody for that thing. It's coming up next month.
Extra 5,000 seats.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's a race that Ty Majeski has won in the past, isn't it? He's run those
late model stocks. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, isn't this where Josh Berry made a name for himself?
Yeah, it's the same kind of deal. It's part of that whole Cars tour, right? They run the late model stocks down there. And did you see this? That popped up on the internet this week, a rumor, and it was up and then it was gone, about Earnhardt Jr. and his sister maybe buying that Cars tour. It was up there for a while. A lot of people talked about it. Then it was gone.
Oh.
A lot of the media people, like Matt Weaver's one said, I sometimes I can break stories, sometimes I got to keep secrets. So I don't know what's going on there, if that was anything to that or what. It was there for a little bit and then it was gone. So I'm not sure exactly, if there's
that's interesting.
The late model stocks down there, they're running 10-inch rubber, right? In other words, they don't run on 8-inch rims like they do up here.
No, the late model stocks is a different deal. They have the pro late models down there are more like ours. The late model stocks are those like those perimeter cars and stuff.
And they're heavier. They're a lot heavier, and there's a lot more tire wear. Because I remember after Ty won that race, it talks about how you got to conserve your car for the distance of it, and you can burn your tires up really easily with those things.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void or prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.
Are you an adult living with moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or UC? Don't let it stop you from doing you. Zeposia can help people with UC achieve and maintain remission.
Don't take Zeposia if you had a heart attack, chest pain, stroke or mini-stroke, heart failure in the last 6 months, irregular or abnormal heartbeat not corrected by a pacemaker, if you have untreated severe breathing problems during your sleep, or if you take medicines called MAOIs. Zeposia may cause serious side effects, including infections that can be life-threatening and cause death, slow heart rate, liver or breathing problems, increased blood pressure, macular edema, swelling and narrowing of the brain's blood vessels, and increased risk for PML, a rare brain infection that usually leads to death or severe disability. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medications, or if you are or plan to become pregnant. If you can become pregnant, use birth control during treatment and for 3 months after you stop taking Zeposia. Individual results may vary, for prescription only.
Don't let UC stop you from doing you. Ask your doctor about once daily Zeposia.
Interesting. Hey, I mentioned Josh Berry came up that way through those late model stocks. If there has ever been a guy that everybody in this country is going to root for to win that Xfinity title next week, I swear to God, it's Josh Berry. He's the only one that's been around for a while. He's like 30, 32 years old, something like that. You know, what a fantastic story that Dale Jr. put him in that car full time without bringing money, because the guy just has a talent to drive a race car. And here he is in the Final Four next week. And wouldn't that be slick if Josh Berry could win a championship?
I think so. A lot of people told me, you know, when he was coming up, that watch, this kid can really drive. And when he got that opportunity to keep your eye on him, he's going to be something. And he was. Look at that Final Four in the Xfinity next year. Are they split into 2 categories or what? You got Justin Allgaier and Noah Gragson and Ty Gibbs. I mean, it's a pretty even split there as far as.
As cool as it would be for Berry to win that, it's time for Justin Allgaier to win a title in this. I mean, how many times has he had a chance at this? And he just never was able to put his. Was it about 2 years ago, Dan? He had his shot to move Cindric, and he just didn't do it. Right. You know, and then last year we saw, you know, Hemrick take his shot, and he moved Cindric, and he got it done. So. Let's see if Allgaier is going to get it done this time, because I mean, he's going to run out of chances. How many times are you going to get to do this? And I sure it'd be nice to see him get one. He's well deserved of it.
I think Ty Gibbs should win the championship, which will catapult him into the Cup Series, the driver of the 18 car. I'm lying. We'll be back.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
And now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Justin Fields, he can beat you with his legs. I want my quarterback to beat you with his arm. Carson Wentz should be better. He had 99 passing yards. And it's not like he can rely on his legs where you go, well, thank God he can scramble. He doesn't anymore. This is primetime football.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekday mornings 8 to 11 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
We can jump right into the points here. This is a cutoff race. We will determine the Final Four today And, Brian, I was looking at the lineup today, and I see William Byron starts 25th, and he's got his work cut out for him to stay above that line.
Yeah, and he's only 5 to the good. So looking at that, he's probably not going to earn any stage points at the end of the first stage. So, I mean, it's pretty wide open here. Joey Logano's the only one that's secure. He's the only one that can, relax today. Ross Chastain is 19 to the good. If he doesn't collect any stage points, that 19-point thing can evaporate after the end of the second stage, really. Chase Elliott's 11 to the good. We said William Byron's 5 to the good. You have Hamlin, he's 5 out. Ryan Blaney is 18 out, so he's going to have a lot of work to do. And then Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe are both probably going to have to win today. Briscoe is 18 out, Bell is 18 out. Bell is 33 out, and Chase Briscoe is 44 out. But Chase Briscoe, Dan, he's got a really good car today, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was lights out in practice. And I mean, he qualified, third, so he's going to start up front. Kyle Larson made the comment that he could just run away with this, kind of like Larson did last week. So we'll see if he can close the deal on that. But he's kind of the guy that's done it all year long. We've kind of written him off all the time, and he seems to pop up and find his way through. So we'll see if he can get in. And he won at Phoenix back in March.
And the interesting thing today is that the tire wear is so aggressive, almost 3 seconds per lap, that you're going to get guys that have to win points in the end of the stage, and guys that are going to try and win the race. So those guys will stay out, and the guys that are going to try and win the race will pit. So it's going to be interesting how that turns. The tire wear will turn upside down the finish of the first and second stage.
Imagine there are going to be either 2 or possibly 3 cars going to the Final Four that'll be determined by points today. If we have a winner, then 2 cars by points. But can you imagine if 3 cars out of the Final Four made it on points and not wins? This has been a topsy-turvy year from what we have had in the past, no doubt.
And can Ryan Blaney, with him only being 18 out, can he get himself into that Final Four without winning a race all season long? That would be something to see too. We haven't seen that.
No, we have not.
And win the title.
Yes. That way. Can you imagine?
And like we said in our scenario earlier, he could win the title without winning a race. So say next week Kyle Larson wins the race at Phoenix and Blaney finishes second, wins the title without winning a race the entire year. That would throw NASCAR's entire playoff thing they came up with completely upside down.
In a year when they had the most number of winners ever.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's a scenario. It's just one thing that could happen, just a little, sideshow. How about that? That would be, I just can't imagine how that would go over in Daytona Beach. We've made such an emphasis on winning. It's all about winning. Yeah, well.
I think about it, though. A couple of years ago, Dan, you might remember this because you always went to the finales at Homestead. Did Ryan Newman make the Final Four one year without?
Yep, and he finished second. He almost won the title. It was the very first year when they had this whole Final Four thing. It was 2014. Harvick won the race, and Newman was right there. They made a late call to get up there, and he had a shot to win that race or that title without winning a race. And Harvick won and did it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Stages today are at lap 130 and 260. It's a 500 lapper. Tire wear, Ed, supposedly is 170 laps. I'm thinking at the end of 170 laps, these tires are going to be slow as hell.
They won't go that far. They'll have to make green flag pit stops.
Okay, well, that's something we can look forward to today. That's
one more thing about that Xfinity race. Did you see the crowd yesterday? Did you see that video of the crowd afterwards when they were on the front stretch doing the victory?
Oh, they were chanting something about Grandpa, weren't they?
Thank you, Grandpa. All in unison. I mean, it was very loud. And the guys, I don't know if these are the guys on the Door Bumper Clear podcast. They have a Twitter site called Couch Racer now. They've already got a T-shirt made, and they were selling them. So they'll probably see them popping up around Phoenix next week.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Isn't that just perfect, too? You got to love it. If you'd like to participate, by the way, we will. Brian's report on results will be somewhat shorter than it usually is this week, as will my report about asphalt results, and that'll be after the next break. So there'll be plenty of time to take calls if you'd like to weigh in on anything going on, and that number remains the same, 414-421-7901, and you can participate in this program. I was going to tell you something that fuel. It's not tires, Ed. It's fuel lasts 170. But they get 9 sets of tires today. The question, I guess, would be, is that going to be enough?
There'll be guys that won't be able to save any. So it's going to be interesting at the end.
Can they come forward? Remember in the spring here, nobody could pass at all. It was impossible. So is this going to be a root and gouge type thing, or are we going to be able to? Will there be another groove opening up? In that Xfinity race, the outside groove opened up a little bit there. But back in the spring here, it was at night and it was colder, and nobody could really pass, and track position was everything. So we'll see what happens today.
Did you see Sam Mayer yesterday? He was the line he was running with his car. He was complaining the car was too tight when he tried to run down low. So he was using the outside lane. It was the fastest way around Martinsville for Sam Mayer. But that just doesn't happen, does it?
Well, that's because of the new traction.
What? You almost said traction control.
Yeah, I know. Well, it is like traction control. The new chemical they're using has much more bite in it than that old PJ1 does, because the PJ1 wore out, but this stuff just keeps getting better for grip. So, yeah, it brings in the outside groove. And also the cars they're running today compared to the cars they had when they first came out with the car, they've understood now much more about how to adjust these cars to make them work. So it should be a better race because they're smarter about the car.
How about brakes? Because they used to always run out of brakes here at Martinsville. They got better as far as making brakes last.
The new wheels, the new 18-inch wheels, have pretty much eliminated the brake problems.
Really? So that's not an issue whatsoever?
Not much anymore, because the rotors and calipers and everything is much bigger than they ever had in the past, and the pad material is more aggressive and lives longer. So brakes are pretty much a thing of the past now. The only thing you'll hear is, don't forget to put your tire coolers on.
Yeah, you won't really see glowing rotors anymore, do you?
No, not with the new braking system.
Interesting stuff. Well, they were not going to need them in Euro NASCAR's new race. I don't know if you saw this one yet, guys. NASCAR is going to race in Finland, and now they have a European NASCAR tour, but they're going to race on the ice, an Arctic ice race in Finland. This better be pretty thick. How I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do it. It'll be like a dirt track. Would they put? They have to have studded tires, right? And isn't that going to dig a big groove into that ice?
It's not too bad. They do it up in the Shawano area and northern Wisconsin when it's cold enough up there, which I went
to one.
Yeah, it's common around here.
Oh, okay. And they use studded tires, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to prep your tires for that. These guys you don't buy them that way. These guys put these tires together like that by putting studs all around them. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
All right. Tell you what, let's sneak away and do a break. We'll come back with some results, and then we'll see if there are any callers. You never know. We could get one. We'll be back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
And listen here for your $1,000 inflation bonus. Win $1,000 every hour, weekdays between 9 and 5.
Listen for the cue, then log on to the website, The Big 920. Good luck.
Now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Although the dirt track racing scene doesn't ever take a full off season, we are getting down to the end of a lot of the 2022 events here, so very limited amount of racing going on. We'll start Thursday night in Georgetown, Delaware, the Mid-Atlantic Championships for Super Late Models 5,000 win. That went to Ross Robinson. He was a regular on the Lucas Oil Tour this year. Picola, Oklahoma, the Tri-State Speedway for the USMTS Modified Tour, 10,000 to win. Dan Ebert was your winner there Thursday night. Friday night, Kansas City, Kansas, the Lakeside Speedway, the USMTS Modifieds, another 10,000 to win. Derek Ramirez picked up the win. Out in Yuma, Arizona, the Coco Pass Speedway, the USAC AMSOIL National Sprint Car Series, the Western World Championships. That's a race that used to be held in Phoenix at the old Arizona Speedway. Since there aren't any tracks available around there anymore, they have to go out to Yuma for it, which is a nice facility for that. Emerson Axum was your winner there Friday night. Saturday night, Charlotte, North Carolina, the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the World Short Track Championships. These are all the lower divisions of the UMP cars before next week's big world finals. So the UMP Modifieds were there. Taylor Cook was your winner. And the UMP 604 crate late models, the pro late models they call them, Trent Ivy was your winner there. Park City, Kansas, the 81 Speedway, the season finale for the USMTS Modifieds, 10,000 to win. Tyler Davis was your feature winner. The 2022 USMTS Modified National Champion went to Dustin Sorensen. Yuma, Arizona, the final night out at Cocopah for the USAC AMSOIL National Sprint Cars Western World Championship. Jake Swanson was your winner. Georgetown, Delaware, the final night of the Mid-Atlantic Championships, the Short Track Super Series Big Block Modifieds, $25,000 to win. That went to Matt Williamson. $7,000 to win for the Super Dirt Late Models. Rick Eckert was your winner. And the big money race of the weekend in Phoenix City, Alabama, the East Alabama Motor Speedway for the National 100. $30,000 to win for the Super Late Models. Brandon Overton was your winner there. As I said, next week is the big World Finals for the NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series for the World of Outlaws, the World of Outlaw Late Models, and the Super Dirt Series Big Block Modified. So that is, I believe it's actually starting on Wednesday this year. So you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday out there. If you want to watch that, you can watch that on Dirt Vision next week. And that is everything this week.
And in the world of asphalt, kind of a limited schedule for you. Last week, Sunday at Jefferson, they had the second annual Blackjack Brackets, which is kind of a takeoff on the Bahama brackets that they had the week before in Rockford. In the A bracket, there were twin features. Tim Coley won both of them. In the AA bracket, also twin features. Cody Erickson and John Jansen were your winners. In the B bracket, twin features won by Weston Streezy. Both of them were won by Weston. And in the double B bracket, also double features, Anna Maloff won both of them. But the big news in the world of asphalt racing was yesterday, the All-American 400 at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and the Super Late Models ran, and the Pro Late Models. Pro Late Models, it was Jake Bowman. Casey Johnson was there and finished 27th, but he also took his super late down there. And the super late models ran yesterday. Stephen Nasse was the winner. Dan, it was a pretty crazy finish to that one.
It really was. I mean, they had coming down to the white flag. Austin Nason had a pretty good shot to win that. We had Matt Craig was leading. Nason was second. Cole Butcher was third. Nason
three wide.
Well, Nason made a move on the inside of Craig at the white flag, and Butcher went and made a 3 wide move to taking 3 wide into the corner. When Matt Craig kind of defended against Nason's move and moved down a little bit, with Butcher being on the 3 wide, Nason got sandwiched and went for a wild ride. That car took off almost like the NASCAR cars, and they went backwards and flipped over. He almost blew all the way over. The car got up in the air, came back down on all fours, but it hit the wall extremely hard. Took Cole Butcher and William Sawalich. So both Donnie Wilson cars got wrecked in that. They placed Matt Craig to the back for his involvement in it because, there was contact there. It's a big controversy, whether in the Midwest or the South. The Midwest people seem to think he should have gone in the back. The Southern people think he shouldn't have. He went to the back, which let the door open.
Good.
I agree with the call. I think he should have as well. But Nason or Stephen Nasse then had and Luke Fenhouse kind of squared off to decide that, and Nasse got the win. Fenhouse crossed the line in second. Found an issue, I guess, with the ignition box later. It had an 8,000 chip in it when you're only
8,000 chip, and it was a 7,800 rule. Ed, how much does that make a difference?
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.
There's hardly no difference at all.
So,
and yet enough to disqualify a guy after working his way and doing such a great job and finishing second. That really blows.
I mean, if you change one tooth on a rear end, it would be a change of about 600 RPM. You can't hardly even dial in 200 RPM.
This got Ricky Brooks odor all over it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
No. Good job for Casey Johnson. No, led a bunch of laps, finished fourth. He moved up.
Gabe Summer was down there.
Gabe Summers was 8th, I think, in the end.
Yep. Austin Nason ended up 13th after that cluster.
Yeah, and Brad Keith went down there and made the run. A nice slinger regular. That was cool for his first chance down there. Ran the whole race and finished, 17th, I think. So pretty good.
17th.
Deal.
Carson Quapple was 23rd. Bubba Pollard ended up 29th. Michael Bilderback was down there, finished 31st. And, of course, Luke was DQ'd in a BS kind of a deal all the way around. But that's just me. You know, we can – I guess you have rules, right? There's a reason we have rules. If it called for an 8,000 chip, well, that's what we would have had then. A bunch of crap. But that's it.
What happened to the 4-car, Dan?
That's what we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the one that had the different chip in it. That's
okay. I couldn't figure out. I was watching it online, and I'm not television, but on my phone, and all of a sudden he went to the back, and I just wondered.
Yep. Hey, Ricky's. Go ahead, Dan.
The other news that came out was that Stars National Tours. Some of the foundation's been laid out there. Looking at a 10-race schedule, they're looking to go to tracks that have pretty good amenities to entertain sponsors, increase purses, $100,000 point fund. There'll be a loyalty program they're going to set up similar to like the World Outlaws Platinum program to reward guys to run that series. 3 races, like we said before, from each of the regions, the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Southern Series. We'll have 3 races to count towards this national tour, with the final being at the Nashville next year in the All-American 400. So
good idea.
It is. The groundwork is there. Now the hard work goes into place and putting it all together.
Will there be one champion or 2?
One for that tour. You know, each region will have their own. They'll have your own Midwest Tour champion. You have your own CRA Super Series champion, a Southern Super Series challenge. They'll run their regular series and have their own separate championships. Just 3 of their events are going to count towards this national championship.
I see.
With the All-American.
Yeah, that 2 champion thing, Ed, that's for NASCAR.
And it looks like they're talking about trying to roll out a schedule around PRI time, from what I read in there. So, you know, keep an eye out when we get to the middle of December at PRI. Maybe that's when they'll have the big reveal, and we'll know where all the races are going to be.
All right. Matt, let's sneak away for a break. We're going to be back for the final segment right after these messages. Hang in there with us.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Be part of Wisconsin hoops history when AmFam Field plays host to the Brew City Battle November 11th. See the Badgers women face Kansas State, followed by the men against Stanford for the first time at the home of the Brewers. Tickets are on sale now at brewers.com/Badgers.
Really a big edge. They're going to have to do a lot of landscaping.
Hang on, Ed. Now we're coming back. We're talking right over it. Welcome back to the program. Ed, what were you want to share that with the rest of the class?
About the paving at Elkhart Lake, I was noticing there's a lot of landscaping going to have to be done to eliminate that flipping a tire off the asphalt.
The lip. Yeah. Yeah, when they mill the old stuff off, they go down a little bit. When they put the new stuff down, you have to backfill all along that. So they'll be working on that here in the next couple of weeks. But looks like they were able to get that surface issue they had last week figured out, and they finished paving the whole thing on Friday, and yesterday they had
already?
What's that?
It's all done?
Yep. I think they still have to maybe finish pit road yet, but they did the whole track surface, and yesterday they had a big Halloween special event going on out there, and one of our friends and listeners, Matt Yancey, was out there, and because they were out there and took part in it because they raced go-karts, they were able to drive around on the new track yesterday. So he shot a little video of it and said it was nice and smooth and looked pretty good. So,
boy, that was done in a hurry, wasn't it?
Yes, they did. They worked from sun up to sundown, literally.
Fantastic. All right. Brian, we got a couple of champions. By the time we do this program next week, we will know if Ty Majeski has won a championship. That's Friday night right here in Phoenix. And, of course, Saturday, the Xfinity Series championship will also be determined here in Phoenix.
Correct, yeah, and the schedule is going to be a little different this week for those that want to watch it all. We're going to be back to the traditional practice formula. So Thursday, the Truck Series will get 50 minutes of practice this is a Phoenix time, so 5:05 Phoenix time to 5:55, along with the ARCA Menard Series West will be out there on Thursday, so there's going to be some track activity on Thursday. The ARCA Menard Series race is Friday morning, Phoenix time, 11:30, so if you're home or want to watch, that's going to be on the Flow Racing Network. So if you have that, you can watch that ARCA Menard Series 100-lapper Friday morning, or it'd be afternoon here probably. The Truck Series qualifies on Friday at 3 o'clock, and then the Xfinity Series has a 50-minute practice session, and the Cup Series has a 50-minute practice session on Friday, all before the truck race at 7 o'clock Phoenix time on Friday. So Friday's a big day out there. And then they have
7 o'clock Phoenix time is 9 o'clock Milwaukee time.
Yes, 9 o'clock. Yeah. So
and
it's
then
a late
daylight savings is next weekend, which means it'll go from a 2-hour difference to a 1-hour difference.
Correct. Yep.
And it'll make a big difference on the racetrack, too, having all that practice to get ready for the race.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully that'll open up the grooves and make the track a little wider. Saturday, they just have the qualifying for the Xfinity Series and qualifying for the Truck Series. Saturday morning at 11:30 Phoenix time for the Xfinity Series, 1 o'clock for the Cup Series, and then the Xfinity race is at 6 o'clock Eastern, so 5 o'clock our time here in Wisconsin, 3 o'clock Phoenix time for the Xfinity Series race, 200-lapper, when they crown the champion. So that should be two villains two good guys, so it should be a race.
Our fingers are crossed for Ty Majeski. This would be awesome if he could pull this off. This last Wednesday, Ricky Stenhouse got married in South Carolina. What the hell is her name? Madison Joy Goodflesh is her name, I guess, or it was before. It's Stenhouse.
You only did that report because you wanted to say the name.
I remember with the old James Bond character, Holly Goodhead. Well, It's almost like that. Joy Goodflesh. Tony Stewart's going to race today in Las Vegas in a top alcohol dragster. I don't really know what a top alcohol dragster is. Any of you guys know that?
It's like one step below the top fuel guys that you see on TV.
In other words, the engine's in the back.
Yeah, and they top out about 275 miles an hour only versus the three and change that the top fuel guys are at.
So it'll be the fastest Tony Stewart ever went in his life.
Yeah, and the quickest. It's only like a 2-second or 3-second ride.
That wouldn't be televised, would it? That I looked around and I couldn't see it listed.
It could be on Flow.
Yeah, I don't think that part of it is, but if you watch the regular NHRA event, which will be on at some point today, probably on one of the Fox networks, FS1 probably, I'm sure they'll show clips of it because in between the pro events is when they mix in this stuff here. So if he's out there, I'm sure they're going to show a clip of it because it's news.
Yeah, it certainly is news. All right, we're going to go to our fabulous predicting department. Last week, in a very rare set of circumstances, I actually predicted that Kyle Larson was going to win at Homestead, and he did. I'm going to send it to Ed. Now, we're going to Martinsville. Remember, this is a cutoff race, and you punch your ticket, as they say, to the championship. Whoever might win this one, we'll start with Ed.
I'm going to go with my fingers crossed with Blaney.
Ooh. Yeah, that's cool. All right, Dan?
14, Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, you're agreeing with Kyle Larson, in other words, huh? Brian, it's pretty wide open for you.
Yeah, this is Virginia. Denny Hamlin is really good here. You remember, Denny Hamlin has a lot of antics here, and he needs to get himself into the Final Four. So I'm saying Denny Hamlin's going to win this race.
All right. I was going to say Hamlin, but you changed my mind, and now I'm going to go with Kyle Larson to win 2 in a row, and I don't feel bad about it at all, just because he's starting from the pole. He's just that damn good, and he's peaking at the last couple of weeks of the season. Isn't that just amazing? Thanks so much for tuning into the program, folks. I realize that this week was a little different. You're listening on Facebook and our YouTube channel, and you can download if you want to listen outside of this, you get to listen to the webcast. It's all great. We're 21st century around here, but there's one thing I do want everybody to remember, that real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer and website coordinator is Matt Losi. For all of us involved with the program, we do appreciate you tuning in. And good luck to Ty next week. We'll see you next week.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back. The sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.